Since 1967, Tooth Acres Pet Care Center provided the finest indoor-outdoor boarding environment for your pet. We accept all breeds of dogs, and our newly remodeled cattery features spacious 9 square feet personal accommodations for your feline friends. For more information on pricing and availability, check us out at our website at www.toothacres.com.
Hello, everybody. The Goss and the Chocolate Bear, the DFW Playoff Softball Podcast number 4. My name is Kenny Matthews. How's my buddy Brian Gossett on the beat? As always, covering baseball. How are you doing today?
Oh, fantastic. Welcome back.
It's good to be back. I got back just in time for a great game last week on last Thursday night. So, yes, it was fun. Had a good time. I want to thank Mr. Shelton. He did an outstanding job with you last week. Thank you for filling in. I appreciate it. Seemed to be well received. So, Mr. Shelton, the legend, the icon. You did a great job, buddy. Thanks. But appreciate it all. Goss, man, we got a lot of stuff. I mean, we'll try to run through it pretty quickly here. Let's talk about over there in your neck of the woods. I guess it's got to kind of start with Timber Creek a little bit, unless you want to go with Mansfield Lakeridge. Timber Creek had a great game on Friday, and then they got smoked in the second game. So a lot of pressure going into that if game. And man, Timber Creek came out like a vengeance with a 12-6 win.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this series. And I plan to go to at least one game, Thursday, Friday, and the if game on Saturday. But you kind of look back a month ago, and I don't know who outside the two programs would have thought that these two teams would make it this far, round 4. Neither team won their district. Timber Creek had a rough start to the season, lost their first 6 games. They started 4-9, ended up second in district. And then Marcus, Marcus probably shouldn't even be in the playoffs. They're a Flower Mound win away from not even being here. And they're able to tie for 4th. Then they shut out their rivals, Flower Mound. Then they upset Prosper, and then they beat Hebron, who had swept them in district. So they are absolutely rolling right now. Fate Driscoll is pitching very well, giving them a chance to win. Timely hits. Tori Edwards is kind of finding her stroke. I think she's had maybe 4 home runs here in the last 2 rounds, but it should be another exciting series. Both teams won game 3s. Timber Creek, you can't really count them out because last 2 rounds they beat a district champ. They've won game 3s. A couple of rounds ago they get no hit in game 1, and then in game 3 they face the same pitcher and light her up for 12 runs, 12 hits, and then like you mentioned here last week against Friendship, yeah, they lose the momentum there on Saturday morning, lose 6-0, and then 30 minutes later have to start game 3, and they wake up, I guess. It takes them a while to wake up, but 12 runs and 13 hits, so it's a very interesting storyline for sure for both teams.
Yes, absolutely. And Marcus, I mean, nobody wants to face their bats right now. Their bats are really, really up and down their lineup right now for Marcus. I mean, we saw where Jalapeno had another big hit on Saturday again. They're walking people and they're paying for it, intentional walks for Marcus. So that's going to be, I think that's probably been one of the closely fitted games for the week here. I would love to be able to go see them. If they play on Saturday, I've got a shot, but that's going to be fun series. I did want to bring up another game over there in your area. The one I thought was great was the Grandview and Whitesboro series that they had. If I'm thinking right, didn't Grandview lose the first game in that series and then swept the next 2? Or is it vice versa?
They won the first 2 games.
Okay.
But the first game was 2-1.
2-1.
And then the second game they were able to win 10-1. So they kind of woke up too there. But Kaden Blackman, the pitcher, she's going strong. She's now she's now got the most wins this season in my coverage area. She's up to 24. Any given day, Grandview's batting lineup just can explode. They got such a tough lineup to get out. With you start off with Morgan Holiday, who's I think she's got the most hits in my area. She had 21 home runs last year, and then you just go down the list. It's going to be very. I will be very surprised if Grandview does not make it to state out of that in 3A Region 2.
How do you pronounce Faith's last name?
Well, I was gonna say Faye. I was gonna say her too, but I don't want to say her last name.
Me neither. Faith G. You had a good game too. But yeah, you did.
And Bell E for Timber Creek. I'm gonna stick with those two.
Absolutely. What about Mansfield Lakeridge? Also from your neck of the woods. I mean, you've been talking about how they've been hitting the ball extremely well, and now look at them. They're four rounds deep in the playoffs here. An outstanding job.
Yeah, they're a speedy team. Half their team is probably slappers. You start off with probably the fastest player in the Metroplex with Tia Warsop, and you follow that up with Paris Johnson, who's actually leading the team in hits. Brooklyn Morse gets the job done. Maggie Miller, Reagan Brannon. I'm sure I'm missing someone else, but yeah, that's a tough lineup. They're going to be playing, and I'm waiting for them to come back to Region 1 because, all these Region 2 games, I can never watch them because they're always out of area.
They're out of the area. That's what I was going to say, because Lakeridge and Cypress Ranch play out at Lake Belton. And what was the other one? South Grand Prairie and El Paso are playing at Lubbock Christian.
But Lake doing a fantastic job. Got to give credit to their pitching staff with Brooklyn Morris and Avery Huang. They're not the most familiar names, but I guess maybe more so under the radar, and they're doing a great job, obviously.
Yep. I failed to mention also that Aledo, they swept Colleyville Heritage last week 4-1 on Thursday, and then 10-0, I believe, on Friday. I was at the game. Aledo again. I think you had an excellent point in the podcast. Number one was about their starting pitching depth. You said that they were really, really deep this year with about 3 really good starters. And Kaylee Smith didn't even have to pitch on Friday. They bring in Brinley Gonzalez, and she pitches a no-hitter against a one-hitter against Colleyville Heritage in their backyard in an elimination game. I don't see a weakness with Aledo right now. I know I've said that repeatedly, but now that Macy's are back in the lineup, the speed up top, and then you got the Thunder in the middle. I mean, you hate to put that pressure on them, but I'd be very surprised if they didn't make it back to state.
Yeah, it's just tough to have pitchers. I mean, a lot of these teams, they just have one pitcher, and you're kind of used to seeing them so much, but it's tough. And yeah, I'll be surprised. Just I'll be surprised if they don't make it out of 5A Region 1 and go to state again.
Abilene Wiley, I believe, this week. Yep. Okay.
Around for the 5A Region 1 teams travel, Aledo with Wiley and Centennial with Monterey.
Yes, right. Thank you. That's right.
I think Monterey is last few years well known for their softball, and Centennial's kind of clicking on all cylinders right now too. So
yeah, they're red hot right now. Burleson Centennial. I mean, they had great pitching there. I mean, they're getting some timely hitting also. But you're right. I mean, I would think that Monterey would be a slight favorite going into there. Plus, with the travel also. But and I don't know if anybody really wants to play Centennial right now.
Yeah, hitting is correct. I got to see their first game against Northwest last week, and kind of a back and forth game. Northwest took the lead with 3-run home run, and then the following inning, Centennial took the lead back for good. So Haley De La Rosa had a nice series. She's the leadoff hitter. Kylie Barnes, last 2 rounds or so, is coming up clutch. And they just have a lot of power too with Mendez and Vasquez. And obviously Bailey Lindamuth she leads my area with 19 home runs. So Monterey's going to have their hands full, but I think that's going to be an excellent series.
I think so too. I almost forgot about South Grand Prairie. I mean, they just keep beating the drum. I mean, they're undefeated in the playoffs. They've only lost 2 games the whole year. They'll be playing El Paso out at Lubbock Christian also in 6A Region 1. They're red hot. I mean, you don't want to talk about a team that's hot. I don't think there's anybody hotter than the Warriors from South Grand Prairie.
Yeah, Al 5 and District 5, District 6 is districts in DFW in any sport.
Yeah.
And if they're in District 8, it's not the strongest district yet. SGP found a way to knock off Allen.
Yep. Tough out.
Yeah. And their pitcher, Cassidy, I'll just say Cassidy F, because
I'm glad you said that.
Mentioned this last offense, maybe. I think definitely in 6A Region 1, the strongest offense left, and they really one of the strongest. They have 8 players that have driven in 20 or more runs.
Goodness, that's
is incredible, and she'll probably make an all-area team later on. But those 2 pitching and a loaded lineup. I mean, see it with Grandview, see it with Alito. That's a really good.
And think about this. I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Their 2 losses are just by 1 run this year. I mean, they're legitimately, 4 runs from being undefeated this year. He turned it around. I mean, that's unreal,
Well, maybe one was ball.
Yep. It's unreal. It's a heck of a run. It's a heck of a run. We did talk a little bit about Flower Mound Marcus beating Hebron, obviously. We talked a little bit about Mansfield Lakeridge. Wanted to go to, the game I did last week. That'd be Rock Hill and Frisco Heritage in a 1-game playoff last Thursday out at Prosper. I would say this, it wasn't Rock Hill's A game, but they still survived to be able to move on. They just did enough damage against Jansen Hall. The Dartmouth commit scratch out 4 runs. I think that they'd like to have the 6th inning back when they ran all 3 outs of the inning on the base pass. That normally doesn't happen. But I want to give props to Taylor Hagan. She came in relief of Grace Berlarge there in the 3rd inning, and she had 4 shutout innings. She had been struggling, for better part of this year with her control, and she came out and she was outstanding. And I mean, that really gave Rock Hill a shot to stay in the game. She kept them in the game because they were down 2-1. Then Rock Hill was able to tack on 3 runs there at the end. I was talking with Coach Bud at Rock Hill after the game, and it's almost like if they would not have gotten to the 4th round this year, it would have been like a lost season for them. And I always kept thinking, this school's not 2 years old, and you already got these kind of expectations that you got to get to the 4th round or it's a horrible season. I said, that's crazy to me.
Well, I mean, it's good to have those goals, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's what separates the great teams. But yeah, I think, and obviously I don't know much about out of the area, but I'm going to say among all the DFW schools, that 5A Region 2, that Final 4, those regional semifinals games, probably the best region with Um, Rock Hill is playing Forney, and then obviously Laconia is playing.
Royce City.
Yeah,
Out in
those will be two great games, and I hope you get out to one of them because
I will be at Forney tomorrow night to see Rock Hill and Forney, and then I will be out Friday night at McKinney Boyd to see the Colony and Royce City. So I will be at those two games. Got a baseball game on Thursday, but yes, I'll be at those games. And then if there's a if game or not, then we'll just see on Friday which one that I'll be able to go to, because I know it's back at Boyd and I think Rock Hill. I think it's a Frisco school for Rock Hill, Forney.
yeah,
I'm looking forward to get out to Forney to see their new stadium.
You may know the Royce City pitchers. I'm drawing a blank on her, but
oh gosh, her name somewhere in my notes.
You know, the Connie, you have Tamaya Waiters.
Yep.
Forney, you have Katie Slade, and Rock Hill, you have
Grace
at least
Ballarge,
two of them.
Grace Ballarge and Taylor Hagan. Yes.
Yeah, so they're all rolling right now.
Yeah, they are, and you take solace sometimes when you don't play your best game, but you're able to still move on. I thought that's kind of what what Rock Hill did there. So I mean, there's always room for improvement. You haven't really peaked at the wrong time. I can't find it right here, but anyhow, But I was thinking about the other game that I was thinking about was Melissa. I mean, look at their surprise run that they've done here now. I mean, I did not expect Melissa to be in the fourth round this year, but I look up in the standings and here they are. They are in the fourth round.
Yeah, 4A Region 2. And I think you kind of say the same thing with Aubrey.
Yes, I was going to switch them too. Yes.
Not sure how many people thought they would have reached round 4, but here they are with a chance to both win and meet up in the regional final. I think they're in the same district.
Yes, they are.
So then Argyle and 4A Region 1 trying to go back to the regional finals like they did last year. And
yeah, they played Canyon out at Midwestern State.
Yeah, and they're putting up some runs. Yeah.
I
think this is the first series though that they have. I think the first 3 rounds all been one gamers.
On one game play. That's what I was going to say. I saw that last week was a one game playoff, and I was thinking all of their games have been that way. Argyle, I mean, every time you look up, if it's a girls' sport, you just expect them to be at state, it seems like. It's crazy. The whatever's in the water in Argyle, they need to, they need to spill a little of that gravy my way, I think. It'd be nice.
The Argyle's rolling too. Ava Edwards, the pitcher, Maya Bland hitting, Carrie Inman. I know there's a lot more. Aubrey, Aubrey's got Maya Cherry in the circle, and a load of hitters themselves. Melissa, you may know a little bit more than I do about Melissa.
Yeah, and I know that it's gonna. I almost thought about trying to get to their game, but it's just can't be in 2 places at once, unfortunately. But I was talking to a buddy just the other day, and he was just amazed at all the talent that we have here. And he said it's just such a shame that all the area teams got to beat each other up to try to get to state. Or when you get to state, sometimes you're playing against somebody that's probably not a top 4 team in the area, in the state. And I said, well, you got to earn your keep when you go into softball here in the Metroplex. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I want to go back real quick. We're talking about Lakeridge and another great kid having a great season, Cassidy Chance. I think she might have had the best series or one of the best series for Lakeridge last round against Parker Heights, but she's just a sophomore and just another weapon for Lakeridge.
Chance and Paris Johnson. I mean, it's they got a link. They got a long lineup. I mean, I know we speak of Alito's lineup. I think they're extremely long too. But I mean, I think Mansfield Lakeridge can almost kind of match them with the length in their lineup.
Yeah.
They don't have the power that Alito does have, but I mean, they put the ball in play. And like you said before, with the speed.
They get a lot of infield singles.
Yep, let's say with the speed is the killer. Yeah.
A lot of infield singles, a lot of stolen bases, and that's you play small ball sometimes, and you get beat that way too.
Yeah.
But I'm just real quick. I'm here at the TAPS baseball, but also softball tournament is happening this week here at UTA. So there's some DFW schools. John Paul trying to repeat, and then D1, and then Grapevine Faith is back here at state too. Temple Christian, another one. So gonna try and catch as many games as possible.
Okay, good. Oh, and I wanted to tell you that also, I want to shout out to Melissa, starting pitcher, Alex Starr. She had 12 strikeouts and a complete game win over Kennedale last week. You know, I know a lot of people were kind of underestimating them, you know, before the playoffs started, but Autumn Bell has played well. Rachel Wells has played well for them. I mean, you know, they're going to be extremely tough out here going now that it's regional. I can't believe it's already the regional semifinals. It seemed like it went like that, but it's here, man, and I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, of course, you know, being in DFW, I'm just hoping that, you know, Aubrey wins, Melissa wins. That way someone will go to state. Same for, you know, 6A and 5A with Melito and Centennial, and I just want to see as many DFW schools go to state.
It makes it a lot more fun when we're there covering the games when there's a DFW representative. That's for sure. You know, yeah. I you know, as much as I love last year, you know, it was kind of hard to sit there and interview Sophia Simpson last year after they beat Alito. You know, it really wasn't too much fun. Sophia, I apologize. You're a great kid. Even if you are at University of Texas, my heart though was a little broken. No, that's all. And then last year when we saw Flower Mound lose in the semis at state, it was kind of tough, you know, to talk to the Deer Park. Yeah. You know, Rockwall. Yeah, and Rockwall, that was a little tough. But you know, hey, you know, now I will say this: San Antonio Judson, I love their coach down there, and their kids are really good. I got to speak to Emily Ayala last year when she had won, and I mean they're really, really good peeps down there. So I like that. But yes, it's tough. It's a little tough. It's a little tough, but that's all right. We'll get as many Metroplex people down there, and maybe we'll have a couple play in the same game, state championship game. That way we'll have a winner. How does that sound?
Sounds.
Well, Goss, I appreciate you helping me out. I know you're covering some baseball. Please enjoy. Put some sunblock on. I know it's warm. I sound just like Carolyn Gossett. I know it. Again, thank you, Mr. Shelton, last week for filling in for the Chocolate Bear. I appreciate you big time. Gosh, you guys did a heck of a job. And also, if you guys appreciate you listening to us, if you can subscribe to us, hit the like button and make a little small comment on either Rumble, YouTube, Spotify, or Anchor. We would greatly appreciate that. And any suggestions that would also go well too. We want to wish everybody good luck this week. Hopefully stay injury free. We'll be back next week to wrap it all up for Who Goes to State this time next week. My main man, Hawaiian, Brian Gossett, appreciate you. Kenny Matthews.
All right, Chocolate Bear.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.